TANA Mongeau is addressing the drama between her and Catherine after Catherine went on Call Her Daddy, and the whole situation of TANA making a TikTok calling out Austin McBroom for cheating was brought up on the episode, and TANA was responding to Catherine kind of calling her out for not coming to her directly with this information. And so we're going to get into what TANA had to say about all of this, plus her recent update on the whole canceled podcast. So if you guys did not watch Catherine on Call Her Daddy, then you may not know that at one point in the interview, Alex Cooper asked her about a situation where TANA Mongeau had posted exposing Austin for lying to Catherine about cheating on her. To kind of take you back to this very moment in time when TANA posted this goes all the way back to 2021. TANA exposed Austin just hours before the YouTubers versus TikTokers boxing match. TANA was riding hard for Bryce at the time. If you remember, we team Bryce out here on God. That was a whole viral moment that she had. But in an effort to support Bryce and maybe throw Austin off his game, she took to the internet to expose some things about Austin. She tweeted, "One time, Austin McBroom was cheating on Catherine with a random girl, and she left a lipstick in his car. Then I was sitting with Jake in the car and he gets a FaceTime. It's from Austin, crying, and Catherine yelling, 'Is that Tana's lipstick?' Austin says it is. It wasn't. But I lied for the sake of the children and said it was SMH. Austin ended up replying to her and said, "Cap to the biggest cloud chaser of them all. And it was actually Erica Costel's lipstick, dummy. I was taking Jake and her back to Jake's house. This lame ass lie ain't gonna save the attention that your little boyfriend Bryce is about to get for his butt whooping." So then TANA gets on TikTok to tell details of this story even further.
One time Austin McBroom was cheating on Catherine, and the girl he was cheating on her with left a lipstick in his car, and I'm sitting in the car with Jake and we get a call from Catherine or Austin or whoever answer it. And it's Austin bawling his eyes out and Catherine absolutely screaming, holding this lipstick inside of their car. And she's screaming and she's like, "It's the lipstick, Tana's. Austin says the lipstick's Tana's, blah, blah, blah." Austin's bawling. My thinks that the right thing to do at the time is save the kids, save the kids. So I lie to Catherine. I'm like, "This is my lipstick." It wasn't my lipstick, Catherine. I'm really sorry. But we team Bryce out here on God. So... Another time, Austin hired 4 of my friends as his nannies, and when Catherine would leave, he would with all of them and then told her that they were all his nannies, and it was a fake nanny company. And I just, so when you ask me why I'm Team Bryce, it's kind of like picking a lesser of 2 evils, you know?
She ended up deleting that video, and then Erica got online and replied to Austin and TANA and said it was actually a lip liner. Can I get that back? Then she made her own video explaining the situation.
Okay, so that lip liner tweet was not meant to be taken seriously. One, I genuinely was just curious if I could get it back. It was KKW, my favorite shade, whatever. We'll call this long gone. But no, I did not with Austin McBroom. First of all, there was 3 of us in his Lambo. We were speeding. We got pulled over for it, so there was a sudden stop, and all my out of my purse. So that's why my lip liner was in his car. No. Some of y'all talk too much. Second, I've done a lot of cringy things in my life, mainly on the internet, but I don't do them anymore, and I also don't lie. So that was the story behind the lip liner.
So now, all these years later, Alex Cooper was asking Catherine about this whole situation. Although when Alex asked her about it, she said that this was something that TANA recently said, which obviously not. This was something that happened a couple of years ago, and obviously there is so much lore behind this situation, but Catherine knew what she was referring to and seemed to call TANA out for having spoken out about this situation so publicly.
TANA Mongeau recently revealed that she covered for Austin after you found lipstick in Austin's car. What really happened there?
So she covered for him, which I believe that it's probably true, definitely happened, because I remember we had a Lamborghini at the time. I never drove that car. And I got in one day as a passenger, and I noticed there was a lip liner or lip gloss, something like that, and it wasn't mine. And I thought, and I'm like, "Whose is this?" He's like, "Oh, so and so got in my car the other day, and his girlfriend was on the lap, and I drove them down the street to get into their car." And I just said, I'm like, "I don't believe you." Like, at this point now, I don't believe you.
Right.
He's like, "I'm gonna call him right now." And so I guess she was there.
Of course, since this, people have been wanting to know TANA's reaction to this and what she had to say. And on the recent canceled podcast, she addressed this call out from Catherine, saying she had to call Jake and refresh her memory on this. And she wanted to clarify at the time that she thought Catherine was fully aware of the cheating and that it was like useless for her to tell Catherine this directly.
Actually, I had to start my day yesterday in 2025 by calling Jake Paul, which is just so funny. Like, it was not on my bingo card. And I was just like, can you refresh me on this time period? Like, I don't really remember. So, I mean, essentially, like, just to go back on the whole story, I was never close with Austin or Catherine McBroom. And I only had ever met them through Jake. And, like, we did one collab with them and we, like, went to their house and we, like, whatever. And, like, obviously being close with Jake, I would hear a lot of lore about Austin and the things he was doing. And also, like, this was, and you can attest to this, obviously, circulating all around LA. Like, everyone knew at that time how much of a piece of shit Austin McBroom was. I, even at that time with the lip liner, was under a 100% impression due to situational things I hear, people close to her, Jake's relationship with Austin, all of it, that she was fully aware of him cheating on her.
She goes on to say that Austin was poking the bear and that's why she decided to come at him in the TikTok, and that this had more to do with the fact that Austin was bringing her into the whole boxing fight beef, and it wasn't about not telling Catherine this directly because she wasn't a girl's girl, but because she thought that Catherine was fully aware of what was going on and she was just trying to call out Austin.
And so Austin's poking the bear, and I'm in a very different era where I am just confrontational and insane online, and he's saying crazy to me and about me to everyone, and I make this TikTok. And I do think that I probably would make the TikTok today, but like also that was Team Bryce on God, the era, and it lines up and it perfectly checks out. But I hate that people are taking this as like, you're not a girl's girl, because it's like, where the I get off protecting Austin McBroom? I would sooner die. Like, I've always said that. He is disgusting. There was no part of me that wanted Austin to like me. There's no part of me that was trying to keep anything from Catherine. There's no part of me. I would sooner die. Like, you've seen, even after this, I will continue to ride for her and her happiness, and always have said like that she deserves better than that man. And just like, he is, especially at that time, was such a diabolical human being to her.
Tana just goes on to say that she didn't think telling Catherine this all directly would have affected things because she just felt like she already knew and she wasn't going to leave him.
I don't think me reaching out would have done anything, because I knew so many people that had, and I knew what the responses looked like back. And I knew that she was aware of these things that people were saying, and still kind of, and that's not me shaming her for not leaving sooner. Like, you have to, that's such a hard layered situation. Like, I think she left in her own time, and devising an exit plan away from him, money and Ace family and all that. I can't even imagine how hard that was.
Ultimately, Tana didn't want it to seem like she wasn't a girl's girl for going to Catherine with this information. She was just under the impression that Catherine knew about the cheating, as it was spoken about so wildly online, and she just made a video calling out Austin for his known behavior. Now, on the topic of Tana covering this on the canceled podcast, there's been some podcast drama with Brooke and Tana teasing the end of their podcast together. Though Tana had to hop online this week and clarify that that didn't mean that this was going to be their last podcast episode ever, that they are going to wait until their contract ends to stop doing the podcast, and that she just clickbaited that title because she didn't want to clickbait about Catherine and Austin.
Am I ever gonna fully learn the lesson about clickbait? Today, we released an episode of the canceled podcast, and Brooke and I are talking about how it eventually is going to come to an end. You know, we might later on down the line have a reunion or do it, but we just want to take a break, and all of the reasons why, right? And I'm talking about the Catherine McBroom, Austin McBroom situation and my response to her Call Her Daddy episode, right? And today I'm debating back and forth which title, and then eventually I'm like, oh, it just feels like cheap to like, because I am being very serious about how much I love Catherine and just like talking about that whole situation, right? So I'm not gonna like title it that. And I'm like, obviously we are talking about how canceled eventually is gonna come to an end. Like, this it's a little clickbaity, but like not really, you know? And now all the comments just think like this is the last episode. No one's listening to anything we're saying. People are assuming it's because we don't get along, all these things. And I'm like, am I ever going to learn? And now, mind you, we have an episode coming out with Kayla Malik next week, and then an episode with Amari the week after that. Like, just embarrassing. Like,
Tana's definitely been trying to say in this TikTok and also in the podcast that she just doesn't like to talk about other influencers or celebrity drama, and she wants to make different content. And I think it'll be definitely interesting to see how her and Brooke make separate content when they are no longer doing the podcast together. But that is what she had to say about canceled not exactly coming to an end just yet. and also how she replied to Catherine talking about the whole lipstick TikTok on Call Her Daddy. I want to know what you guys think about all of this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.